we will begin then. So I would like to call the meeting to order, and we have a statement we read for any of you who are here to present or talk to us tonight, which we'd like you to know, which is we welcome all of you to this November meeting of the Saginaw Planning Commission. If you are here to present a case, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and make your presentation. We may ask you questions for clarity or for more information. We often do that here. A simple majority vote of the members present will decide on your request. If you're here to speak in the public comment phase of the meeting, please also come to the podium. Also give us your name and address. Direct your comments to the commission. We have no time limit, but brevity is appreciated. So, with that, Mr. Faust, the roll call, please.
Doan.
Here.
Nash.
Here.
Henry. Jones.
Here.
Nightingale.
Present.
Zawerka. Taggett. Bryant.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Okay.
I would like to add one thing to the agenda.
Yes.
We had a late case for a daycare center at 2100 West Michigan, and that would be case number 16-0041.
And you have given us the information on that, so we're all set with that. The first item on our agenda is approval of the minutes from our October meeting, which are longer than minutes often are. We had a little more discussion than we sometimes do, but it is all there, to my knowledge, correct and complete. Are there any additions or changes to the minutes? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Move to approve.
Support.
Been moved and supported that we approve the minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are now at the public comment phase of the meeting. Is there anyone here to speak to us? Public comment? If not, we will continue with our new business. We do have two cases. And the first one being J160038, which is site plan review of an addition to the health delivery building at 22 North Jefferson. We have the piece from Mr. Faust, and we have a set of small blueprints. Mr. Faust, do you want to start us off with any comments about this?
Most of this is demolition of part of the building that's existing now, the creation of a new parking lot, and I believe it's a new entranceway into that building from the new parking lot. That building is currently used as a clinic, so the use hasn't changed at all. It's just a part of the building will be demolished. Erin Andrus is here from WTA Architects, and she can tell you more about it.
So I'm Erin Andrus from WTA Architects, 100 South Jefferson Avenue in Saginaw here. Just to clarify with you, Mike, the basement that we are renovating is currently an out-of-service medical clinic, and as it's not in service, we're repurposing it and redoing the plan for a dental clinic instead. And the upstairs is currently rented by Body by Ron, which is a fitness group. As he said, we're doing a western parking lot, more or less over top of what I would call the rectory, which is the oldest home that connected the gym addition, education wing addition to that slate and stone church on the corner there. I had questions at Riverfront about the for sale sign. The property is up for sale, so the intention is that we'll draw a lot line about 3 feet from the property line, and that's where the property would ideally be sold. If not, it is a federally funded project, so they will not allow any alteration to the building that would be historically damaging, I suppose. So they're going through the process on how to take care of that property if it can't be sold.
This is the property on the corner.
Yes.
The church.
But this site plan that we're presenting, the church is staying, we're just moving the piece in the middle and creating that extra parking lot that we feel is gonna be required for the use of the dental clinic.
So you're basically just separating the buildings.
Yes, yep,
And the one part you're checking on is the old mansion.
yes.
'Cause I know, I went to that church, so I know everything about this. A long time ago.
The new location of the dental clinic then will be in that basically existing building setting back from the street, is that right?
Yes,
It's gonna be in the basement where the classrooms were.
yes, yep.
Church.
And that's already been once remodeled for medical, and we're remodeling again for dental.
Are you gonna still keep the other clinic on Wadsworth?
No, that's actually, you're expanding the program that they have there. I believe you have 10 chairs right now, there will be 15 at this location, and the grant funding that they've received is, I guess, was awarded on the basis that the grant money feels that they can better serve the community and the consumers that go there because of its location in downtown and proximity to public transportation. So that's the goal, is to increase capacity and get to where people can get to you.
So you're not gonna, you're gonna have what, you're not?
No,
gonna-
no more
everything's
Wadsworth,
gonna
that's
go
transferring here.
there.
Yep.
I'm looking at drawing C1. Is the new construction just that crosshatched part in front of the existing building?
Yeah, there's a small crosshatch that says proposed building addition. There's a sidewalk kind of going up to it it's the west parking lot that addresses. And all that is a stairwell going up and down and an entrance in.
Oh, okay.
Just to, yeah, because that's where the building got cut off, so we needed to provide another egress out.
Okay.
Previously, it would have gone through the building.
So where's the entrance gonna be?
The consumer's entrance we're anticipating would be on the east side of the property.
The same way it is now?
Yeah, and we're anticipating that the west side of the property would be for staff, and that would be the entrance that they use.
Okay. Are there any further questions, comments from anyone?
What's your, if this is approved, when's your, start time, like when we start with demolition and construction?
I would say first of the year. We're looking to possibly bid this next month, or we want to get this bid this month here. December 1st is the earmark for bidding. We'll finish it up before Christmas, and we'll probably get a contractor moving as soon as we can in the new year.
How long do you think it'd take to finish?
Good question. 8 months, maybe a year. The builder will have a better idea on that when they're
So it's usually
selected.
go 6 months, but we can work with that.
Yeah, I know we won't do any site work until the weather breaks. All the stuff that we'll be doing will be just strictly inside. I'm not even sure if they can take care of demo in the winter months, if they can rip the foundations out or not.
Any further questions about the project? If not, I'll entertain a motion on this project.
I have another question.
Yes.
You said there's gonna be 15 chairs. How many currently have?
There are 10 at Wadsworth.
10 at Wadsworth.
Mhm.
So you're basically creating, what, 5 more jobs then?
Or do that.
Do you have more information on the job creation?
Yes, it's
I mean, it's anticipated, may I speak for you?
oh, we gotta go.
Please
there.
stand up to the microphone. Give us your name and address.
Sorry, I don't frequently. My name is Lee Gordon. I'm the Vice President of Operations for the organization, now known as Great Lakes Bay Health Centers, previously known as Health Delivery. It's anticipated that with additional chairs, we'll actually be able to hire additional staff and additional pharmacist, or excuse me, not pharmacist, dentist, and an additional hygienist. In terms of the capacity, we know that the lack of availability for services in this community is about 1 patient, or 7,000 patients per 1 dental provider. So the need in the community is significant. So there will be a creation of jobs. I can't necessarily speak to it specifically, as there's also a shortage of dental providers, so we're constantly on the look for new providers. But it will create more in the community. Also, to fill in one blank, the Wadsworth Dental Center, that building and its capacity, we've met its capacity to meet the community needs, not just from the structural components, but that building is not in a position where we could repair it to meet the needs because of the age and the status of that building.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions from the commission? If none, then again, I will entertain a motion on the project.
I make a motion that we approve case 160038. It's the only thing I would change or just add, I would give them a year for completion just because of the weather coming and them not having the bids in. Usually we only give 6 months. But in this case, I would say a year. I don't know if that's okay, but the reason would be due to the weather, and since the bidding isn't in, and you have to do demolition. So probably 1 year from when we approve it.
So we have a motion to approve with a timetable of 1 year. Is there support? Support. Been moved and supported. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So that will bring us to case number 160041 for a daycare center at 2100 West Michigan.
Hello, my name is Demetrius Holmes, and I was trying to see if I can get approval at 2100 West Michigan for daycare. I talked to Mike about it, and right now he said it is in the right zoning. I know he was saying something about parking space. It is enough room for parking space, and it's enough land to add a fenced-in playground. Then my hours, I will run it from 6 in the morning to 11 p.m. And
That's a long day.
yeah. Yeah. And I will, when I apply for the license, I will apply for with a capacity of 30 to 50, but the state will have to come in to inspect the building to see, to give me an exact number of how many children I could be approved for.
What generally is the condition of the building now?
Right now, I had someone to go in there. It's in good condition. We just have to have the bar removed out of there and just get it up to code.
Do you know how long it's been vacant?
I was just told a couple of years. I don't know exactly how many years.
Do you expect there would be a lot of interior construction for separate rooms or bathrooms or anything like that, or would that mostly?
No, only thing
be
that I know that we would do for sure is remove that carpet out of there and put tile down. So other than that, it's just the main thing is getting that bar out of there.
Okay. What about a food preparation area? Is there,
It's a kitchen already in there.
so there's a full-service kitchen there already?
Yes.
Which would allow you to provide food for the children?
Yes.
Okay.
Most of that would be mandated by the state, correct?
Yeah.
And the capacity be mandated by the state.
Capacity based on square footage or?
How many square footage?
Square footage and the bathroom, how many bathrooms are in. Like in the girls' bathroom, it have 2 stalls, and both the bathrooms have 2 stalls in there, so they base your capacity on the square footage in the bathrooms also.
Yes.
How many people would be working there?
It all depends on, how many kids they approve me for. Let's just say if they approve me for 30 kids, by me being open from 6 a.m. to 11, it might could let me allowed to hire between 6 to 7 staff.
Yeah, this is a question for staff. Right now, we're just looking at this situation as approving this for a daycare.
Yes.
That's correct.
But if she gets into the over 6 to the 7 to 12 or 7 to 20, whatever, she would have to come back again, because she has to, you have to notify all the neighbors within so many feet, correct?
She may have to come back. We'll see what happens with the state, what they require.
We've been through this before, I just know.
Um,
If you have under 6, you don't have to notify your neighbors.
Mhm.
The,
You know.
Right.
the thing to realize is to the east is self-serve lumber
Yeah.
for the whole 300 feet that we're talking
Yeah,
about.
straight back,
Straight back,
there's a couple of houses back there to the north.
it's
To
250
the west.
feet.
Oh, well, far to the north, yeah.
From the property line, I believe it's 200 or 250 to that rear property
Yeah,
line.
I'm just saying that they have to be notified if you go beyond that. I don't see if there's a problem, but I just know what it is. And across the street, there's.
That's the
It's a-
old IGA store, it's a church.
It's a church.
I have a
Yes.
question. Have you, has the state come in at all? Or you just, based on this, this is preliminary coming in to see if you can do it? Have you thought about bringing the state in to look at the facility first?
No. They haven't been in, because it's pending purchase,
Mm-hmm.
so the state hasn't been in there.
Is the purchase pending approval of this?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not good. That's a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
You don't want to buy the property and can't do it.
Right.
Now, you're currently in this industry? You're in the daycare industry, are you?
Yes.
How long have you been in the daycare industry?
I've been doing daycare for 12 years.
Okay.
The note here from you, Mike, says that you're also thinking of purchasing 2 lots to the rear of the property from the land bank. Would that be,
That land, it comes with it. It's a land, it's like 2 different lots that come with it. That's why I said I would have more than enough space to add a fenced-in playground area.
I just want you to know that I just learned today that those 2 lots to the rear are owned by the Saginaw County Land Bank, not by the owner of the building that you're buying from. So you would have to make a separate agreement with the land bank to purchase those. And I don't know, maybe at one point it was owned by the same person, but the land bank has it because of back taxes.
Okay.
So you'd have to purchase from them, which may be to your benefit because they usually sell the lots at a fairly reasonable rate.
Okay.
if for any reason you were not able to buy those, would that affect your capacity?
No.
On our map here, Mike, those 2 lots are roughly where? Do they go up to what looks like was an old driveway off Superior going west?
No, actually, they go all the way up to that alley that it has not been vacated, but is
No.
not being used.
So it includes that heavily wooded area.
Yes.
There's a miniature jungle in there. One block.
Yeah.
That's like up north or something.
Because most of that is one large lot, and then there's a small lot to the east, northeast corner. And those are both owned by the land bank. The white lines that you see for the vacated alley, the one parcel is both sides of that vacated alley.
Oh, okay. What, you've got, a section there of what looks like a long parking lot or something. What is that exactly?
Is that not the vacated alley?
Or, yeah, I thought you were talking about something further north. I think this is the vacated.
Right there?
No, here.
The vacated alley is the white lines that run all the way across that parcel.
Okay.
Well, so then what is that section that has a whole bunch of shorter lines connecting two longer lines east to west?
That's the alley, right? Is that the alley?
Is that the alley?
That's, yeah.
Oh, that is the alley.
That is
Okay.
where it says vacated
Okay,
4/4/1968?
Yes.
okay.
So that is the alley?
That's a vacated alley.
Okay.
And when an alley is vacated, the property owners each get half of that alley.
That's the.
So-
Okay.
But in this case, that parcel is both sides of the alley. So it's all one owner.
Okay.
She would have all of
Okay.
this.
Do we have any other questions about the project? Do you operate your business now from 6 to 11?
Yes.
Where are you located now?
I'm located at 3192 East Washington right now.
East Washington?
Mhm.
Where's that by?
It's on the corner of 29th and Washington, like right before Flying J gas station.
I know.
Any further questions? We're not doing anything very exciting for him, are we? He is not interested.
So to be clear, will she have to come back?
I think she
Before
will.
us.
I think she's gonna have to if she goes to over 6, because you have houses to the north and you have houses to the west.
But one thing that you could do is, in tonight's order, you could talk about fencing, because this is a business, even though it's in an R2 district, you may want to separate, or have fencing put up between that property and the people to the west. And that would be a 6-foot fence that would have to be created there.
So there is no fence there now?
I'm not sure if,
No.
no, I guess there is.
Okay.
So would the state mandate that the entire property be fenced in because there would be potential for 30 to 50 children there, or?
I don't think so. They have their requirements as far as how many square feet they want for outdoor play area. So they may not require the whole fence. I believe the city's ordinance requires a minimum of 2,500 square feet or 150 square feet per child. That's in the city ordinance. It's special just to daycares.
This is as far as the outdoor portion of
The
it?
outdoor.
The outdoor
Oh.
portion?
Indoor is up to the state to determine
Okay,
what they
okay, so that would be a city requirement?
the city
And anything
requirement.
obviously outdoors of that nature would then have to be fenced in?
Right.
Will your entrance be off West Michigan the way it is now?
Yes.
But the property is, of course, it's all open to Superior also, I guess.
Well, okay, yeah, Superior is the side street, so yeah, Superior Street, that would be where the entrance would be at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not in the front.
There is a
it'd be on to the
driveway
side.
onto West Michigan, but
Yeah.
Yeah, the most
maybe you wouldn't use it.
heavier traffic sense is Superior.
Right on the front, it's in the front, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
So,
This is a question for staff. So do they have to have fencing, or is that something to talk about?
That's something for you to talk about.
See, if
You may say that this is a business to the point, see, if it was a commercial area and there were residences next door, they would be required to put up a fence. But this little area, those 3 lots, are the only area in that area that is zoned R2, two-family residential. The vacant lot to the north is zone B1, or B2, I believe. General business, across the street is industrial, and to the south, where the grocery store was, is R1A, which is residential agricultural. So we've got a mess of zoning there.
Yeah.
I've talked to the realtor a couple of times, and he never did the petition, but it seems like that area could be rezoned to a B2. Might make more sense than residential there. Considering all the way up Superior for quite a ways is industrial.
On the one side.
But, you know, you get into the fencing though. How do you know that the person living to the west wants the fence on the east?
Well, and that's something that they could discuss.
Discuss.
If
I would, okay.
if the people didn't want the fence, and we did that in another case, the owner said, we don't want a fence up there, then we wouldn't have to require one.
I would.
It's kind of a gray area because this is all R2 zoning. If it was business, it would definitely have to have the fence there.
Myself personally, I feel more comfortable if we did allow for a daycare up to the 6, knowing that she would probably have to come back and the neighbors would have to know what's going on since she wants to have it so large.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that point, when they have the input from the neighbors, then you can discuss the fence.
Okay.
That make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Because once, you know, the 6 people, you're gonna go to there. But when you really, with that many people, you really start a new business, so the neighbors have to know that you're gonna start a business there. But you don't have any permits from the state yet anyway,
Right,
correct?
right.
Yeah. We're not saying that we would turn it down or anything, but I would still like to know what the neighbors would say, since you're gonna have that kind of business there. Which I think they'd be very happy with knowing what was there before.
I was about to say the same thing.
They'd be much happier than what was there before.
And actually, because this is a permitted use with special approval, you would probably have to approve it, but you could put conditions on it, such as a fence, or a minimum area, or know exactly where the parking is gonna be, things like that. There's very minimal parking that's required here. It's one parking space for every 15 children.
Oh,
So we're
yeah,
only
plenty
looking
of-
at
More than enough.
Yeah,
Right.
more than
maybe
that.
yeah.
3 parking spaces, maybe 4 at the most.
Mhm.
So now, who will petition the neighbors to get their feedback on it?
Well, if the state goes ahead and approves it, at that point, I'll send out notices.
Oh, okay.
And we'll have another hearing.
Yeah, once they, under 6, she does not have to notify her neighbors.
Correct, correct.
And then the state doesn't go from 7 to 12, they don't go to 7 or 8, they go, the next one would be, the next jump is 12. I don't know what the next jump up is after that.
Okay.
The state has regulations on it. And
Okay.
we can't decide that, the
So,
state does.
so you're proposing, Jack, tonight that we approve it for 6?
But we just approve a daycare, because once the next level, could we do it that way, Mike?
I think maybe to help the applicant out, if you would approve it contingent on the number that the state allows and that the applicant come back to discuss fencing once notices are sent out. That way she can say to the state and to the realtor that it looks like I'd be approved for up to 50, as long as we meet other conditions along the way. Just make it contingent on coming back with that information.
Okay.
I would just like you to, the neighborhood association, the Southwest Neighborhood Association, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but they meet right across the street at the Beacon of, it's a Beacon of Hope. Beacon of Hope Church, and that may be good to introduce yourself to them as
Yeah,
well.
that'd be
Welcome yourself to the
good
neighborhood,
contact.
you know, and the thing is, I grew up in the area, so I'm familiar with Craig's IGA and seen miraculous things that they've done. That building is beautiful. And I think what Mr. Nash said earlier, to see that converted would be great, you know, to a good use. But
It's a much better use than what.
yeah, but I would strongly encourage you, because I'm a neighborhood association president myself, and with their help, you can get a lot of good things done.
And that way, they know what's going on, and they may help you.
Okay.
I'll get you that information.
And it's marketing,
You got a church right across the street.
you know, it is.
Where there's a church, there's probably children.
Right?
Lots of them there, yes.
So would you like to frame that proposal?
Okay, I move that we approve, what's this one? Case number 160041 for a daycare. And I would also approve it up to maybe, well, how many people did you say?
When I submit the application, it will be for, up to 50, but,
We would approve it up to 50 with the contingency plan that you must come back after the neighbors are notified. So we can talk about fencing and other issues at that point.
okay.
Is that okay, Mike?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I just have a question. Well, like the fencing, basically just have to be for the playground use only.
Well, that's gonna
And-
be, the state's gonna tell you what you need. The state will tell you what you need.
Mm-hmm.
We're just talking about the neighbor next door, if they wanna have a shielded fence or not. The state will tell you specifically what you're gonna have to have for your playground,
Right,
if you have to have one.
right. Yeah, I know, but that's, like the area where I was planning on having the playground at, it's, no house is back by that area where I was gonna do the playground.
But what we're saying, once you get past that 6,
Mm-hmm.
you turn that into a commercial business. It's not just a conventional daycare anymore. So the
Okay.
neighbors have to know what's going on,
Okay,
okay?
yeah.
And where the fence would have to be located is not back in the back part of the lot. You wouldn't have to put a fence the whole length of that.
Mhm.
It would be to the, from the building to the houses to the west, where your parking area is. You
Okay.
might have to have a fence there. But if the neighbors don't want one, then that wouldn't be required.
Okay.
Or it may not, it's up to the board, but may not be required.
Okay.
So we have the motion on the floor. Do I have support for the motion?
Support.
Been moved and supported. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Would you please give me a call tomorrow? Okay.
So the next item on our agenda is discussion of the master plan goals. And I can tell you that I did go to city council meeting last night and was available there to answer any questions, which there were a few, and comments about our recommendation to extend the deadline to 2019. The council did approve that, so we now have extra time to work on the goals. I pointed out to them in my remarks how many goals had been done and how many were being worked on. how many haven't started yet, so.
And I
think-
understand that the council wanted a report on that.
That's what I had asked for. I think it's very important because there's a lot of moving parts that happen that some council members don't even know about. So
Yeah,
if we
That was apparent in my remarks.
have to transition from that. But I think it's very important that we not only look at it at the strategic planning session, but let's also look at it at the beginning of the fiscal year. You know, what have we done? You know, we have this big picture of all these objectives, but how are we making progress? We have to see where we're making the progress, tout the progress that we've made, you know, and look at the next 6 months and say, well, where do we want to move forward on this? What kind of things are we going to tackle? Because I think that's just an important part of it.
As a follow-up to that, Mike and I met today with one of my interns, and we're looking at pulling the master plan together, make it more solid. There, from what we reviewed last time, there's areas where we're blank that we want to fill in and say whether can we do this, or is this somebody else's responsibility doing this? Coupled with the fact that I'll be getting in contact with our contact person at MEDC, Christopher Germain, to get an updated copy of our RRC, which goes hand in hand with the master plan that we've been working on for months. So by the time it gets to council, it'll be more thorough. I'll have more explanation of where we're at with it,
You mean the update on the plan?
Mhm.
Okay,
as well as.
and that will come to us too?
It would come to both,
Okay.
both council and to the planning commission. So it'll be more cohesive. I think that the problem is that when we received it the last time, although it was color coordinated, there were still blanks.
There were blanks.
The other thing is that you haven't seen the RRC that me and my staff has been working on. So you need to see that as well.
And that gives me a chance to, again, let everybody know that the workshop that Mike and I are attending, and anyone else is still welcome, is now December 1st. It was postponed, an all-day workshop in Lansing on the RRC. And I mentioned that last night as one of the reasons, of course, to approve this extension, because there's so much interaction there. Good.
I think another part of this is we know that there are different groups working on parts of the master plan. And I know there's a committee together on rebranding the city. And depending on what they come up with for signage, for gateway signs and wayfinding signs, we may need to find some money in the budget to see if we can proceed with some of those things. So I'm gonna reach out to that committee and look over the goals and see if there are people working on some of the other ones, and try to get an estimate of what the costs would be, so that we can present that in our report. What I have in mind, something that we have not done before, but actually is in state law and is required by the RRC, is we're supposed to give a yearly report to the
That's
city
right.
council.
That's right.
I have been working on part of that report, just as far as the cases that we've handled this year. But
Okay.
I think that we can include the goals and how those are working into that plan. And I'm contemplating that we would vote on that and send that to council in January.
It would be a good time to do it. For sure. Start out the new year on the right foot.
The other option outside of doing that would be, just like yesterday, have like, because we're having the SEDC chairperson is going to be coming forward before council to present, maybe have the chair or the vice chair from this committee
Sure.
go before council. and present.
Absolutely.
Talking about signage, Saginaw Economic Development Corporation, another area of mine, we're talking about that as well, because their bigger issue is how we marketing the city. That affects not only what we do here at the planning commission, city as a whole, but
Mhm.
also lending, part of the lending operation, so.
There's also a project, I think, from Leadership Saginaw. They're working on some gateway markers and some wayfinding. You know, so it's, we have all of these objectives, but can we get, you know, more than just once a year? Can we get kind of some of these people in the same room and break this stuff down? And that's what, because I know it used to be done that way.
And
I
as
think
Mike
it'd
said,
be good to go back to doing that.
there is actually state requirements
Mhm.
involved that we have let slide, so.
For how long?
How long have we let slide? A long time.
A long time. A long
I don't remember when that act was passed, but it was probably 10 years ago.
Yeah, at least.
Well, I've been here for like a long time. See all that, nothing, I see nothing.
Is there any news, probably not yet, on the people from either, what's the LSL planning company, or Michigan State Extension? Are they still not
Well,
ready?
Michigan State, we've kind of put on hold because they're trying to fill their
So
district
that's still
position.
probably next year?
That would be, they were hoping to fill it by the first of the year.
Okay.
As far as I know, it has not been filled yet. And LSL, I have talked to Kathleen. She was gonna get back to me, and I don't have an answer yet
Okay.
on when they're coming back. I think that they found,
Oh.
I think that they found that their Lansing job, that they're doing the form-based code for the entire city.
Oh, they are?
I think that they found that that's taking.
Mhm.
Yeah, I bet.
So I do believe that they're still planning on coming in December.
And so their intention still would be a meeting with developers, okay?
Your Michigan, that's not Dr. Scorzoni you're talking about, right?
No.
Because Dr. Scorzoni from Extension was supposed to help as well, but he's on sabbatical. He's working for the state right now, so.
Well, I had talked to, I took it.
It takes forever to get something done, doesn't it? It just takes forever.
Well, basically, we're
I
gonna
gotta
put
get used to
everything on
that.
hold until after the first year, right?
Well,
Well, we're gonna
Start
continue.
putting
Continue.
it on tonight. Come on, let's
Yeah.
go.
But as
It's
far
done.
as, if we're not gonna start until
My God.
July of 2018, there's no sense in getting Michigan State on board now.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Wyckoff? Is that who you're
I
talking about?
talked to Mark Wyckoff when I went to a class of his
Okay.
a month ago, and he told me that the state, which I didn't realize before, is broken up into different districts that are covered by one person from MSU Extension. The district here covers about 7 counties. I think it goes out into the Thumb, up to Bay City, over to Mount Pleasant. It's similar to the MCOG region that we have. Maybe not exact, but it's similar to that. They have not filled that position in years, but they had decided that they were going to fill it. It was advertised, I believe, in late October, with the idea of having it filled by the first of the year. It would be someone similar to Mark Wyckoff, but Mark, actually, his district is the northwest part of the state.
Oh, okay.
Okay,